Hello, and welcome to another episode of TacoBytes, your daily bite of Degen, episode number 429. That means we've done this 429 times in a row, or days at least.
All right.
Man, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Man, it has been an amazing day here at Station 3. I think I saw you walk by once, but you had like your head down. So, so everyone knows who you are. Who are you?
Future help.
Future help. So you're trying to help the future, or you're help from the future?
Help from the future.
Help from the future. And what is it you do?
So I'm a solutions architect in Web3. You come to me for a problem, regardless of what it could be. I could do consulting. I can also do the development. But yeah, just loving just breaking stuff and building stuff.
Breaking stuff is a fun thing to do in Web3, and especially the building side. Like right now, you're actually trying to build other builders.
Well, right now, like built an inscription engine. So like working a lot with Bitcoin right now. But yeah, I mean, we do everything from like simulations for DeFi projects to like bootcamp education as well. Blockchain bootcamp.
You just had your first bootcamp educational program yesterday.
Yes.
And who's all part of your team?
So we have Austin, who's a badass NFT artist. We have Matt, who's an amazing esports organizer and aficionado, and then we have me for the development side. But yeah, we had a successful blockchain bootcamp and had some people come out and they learned a lot. And we actually ran into one of the students like later that night, and he was already bragging about all the meme coins he was making and stuff like that. So so good stuff. Yeah.
How many shitcoins had you already made?
Well, we were only like minting like one or two. But,
okay.
But yeah, it was just like, people talk about crypto and like, they've seen it, but now you get this hands-on opportunity to do it. And we're, obviously on testnet for our platform, so that like, we're not doing anything that like, spends money, but it gives you the opportunity to actually test stuff out, and not have to be a developer.
Yeah, and what that sort of really allows for is people to have their first chance at building something, and especially on the NFT platform side, right?
Right.
And so you made a platform that we don't want to put up that. You put out a platform that people can make meme coins or NFTs on, right?
Right. It's very primitive in the sense of like all the the ERC20, ERC721 contracts and stuff like that. Not too many bells and whistles, but once again, we're trying to start from the very basics because once again, like we're all from, most of us are, even if we've been in the blockchain ecosystem, you kind of get like, there's a lot of noise and there's like just stuff that can kind of, I guess, overlay like what's really going on with the principles and fundamentals. And so then of course we kind of distract ourselves and like pivot to another direction when, we should be taking those fundamentals and like living by them. And I think that's like one of the reasons why we're, sometimes in some bad stigma.
So when we talk about that stigma, like what is one of the things that you see that is a bad stigma in Web3?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm a little biased about this, but I would have to like attribute most of it to like DeFi. It's just mainly the greed aspect, right? So it's, if it wasn't, if they didn't get so greedy with Terra and they were so pretentious that they thought they were, unstoppable and could not fail. And just like anything in the history of economics and financial markets, too big to fail, right? Like, I mean, that doesn't mean anything. Like anybody can fail. And so that greed, that is what, did the domino effect. And then now that we have all this, all the way to FTX. And so all of that to combine, I would say is like push us to a bad stigma because now people are afraid, right? Like, I mean, you can have all these like fake promises and stuff like that. So I think that whole situation has now pushed us back. And then of course, all the, scamming from NFTs has like pushed us back. So now there's stigma on that. And it's always very interesting to get outside of the crypto space and just talk to regular people. And yes, like how they act. You're like, I was supposed to go on a Tinder date, and I was like, hey, like I'll meet up with you after this NFT NYC party. and she was like, NFT still exists, because it's like just hearing it from the opposite side. Like it's always good to kind of take a step back, because I think once we get too focused, then not only is it greed, but we start losing like those fundamentals. We start kind of just like turning into another person.
Yeah, and we see fundamentals of just the expectations of NFTs being PFPs, profile pictures, or as I like to say, PPs, because like, especially on Twitter, when you're in a space and stuff like that, you don't go touch someone else's PFP, you touch their PP to make them smile, send a heart or a smiley face or something like that.
Right.
And so I love it when people touch my PP. This is called your daily bite of Degen,
Right.
and we are at here, Station 3. You guys have an office here. So huge shout out to Station 3, because we're usually somewhere nowhere in New York. But one of the things, did you get hit hard by Luna?
No, so actually I was actually at the Terra Hacker House. So I was in Chicago last year for a month. We were out there like I can't talk too much about it because I don't want to say something bad, but no, I mean it was I only believe in Bitcoin and ETH, so like I don't have anything else in anything else. But
no Solana?
No, because I have different. I believe in Solana, but I just like that's another question.
Okay,
Yeah.
another day.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on. So how excited are you that Bitcoin went past 30,000?
I mean, it's good. Like there's some alpha right now that some finance bros are trying to push it up a little bit. So I'm a little afraid it's just going to be a bull trap. So definitely be cautious on that.
Yep. Mind your leverage trading.
Yes.
Do not do what I do. I 200x leverage, and I go to sleep.
You wake up liquidated. Yeah, you wake up happy. Yeah, $1 on it's not bad.
Yes, so only $1. Only $1. That's all we do.
Yeah. No, I mean, like when you look at the whole Bitcoin market, unfortunately, I don't see that much push that we're going to get because of the wars that are going on, right? Because it's a global currency, and if you start removing countries to be part of that liquidity layer, then it's going to be really hard for it to hit an all-time high, especially even to push it into a bull run or bull market.
Do you think all the ETFs the iTrust Capital ETF and then the other ETFs that are on the way, I'm not saying will necessarily spike the price, but will remove the stigma that blockchain has with it?
Yeah, good question. So first off, the ETF thing is always a hype, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's been talked about for what, 2 years now almost. Like, so I think that narrative needs to just die until it's signed, right? Because I've heard like a lot of like, even from people in traditional finance and stuff like that, a lot can be said, but until like it's actually signed and in writing and legislation, I guess, or financial, whatever, however you want to put it, then like it's just hearsay. It's just kind of like, it's just like a buzz. And it could also like, unfortunately, be a way to push the market so that people can make returns, right? Like if I am JP Morgan or the SEC and I want to like, or whoever's doing the ETFs and like, stir up as much publicity as I can to like push the price up and then like cause that, that false bull trap or bull flag, then people will buy in and then you sell. So it's just like an arbitrage opportunity.
Yep.
The stigma though, like, no, you're 100% like, if once it does pass, then the world will get more of a recognition, right? Mm-hmm. And like, hey, this is, and I mean, MasterCard's already on board.
Visa's on board.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going away. It's just I think it has to do with marketing, right? Like, imagine MasterCard about to release something and then FTX collapse, right? Like MasterCard would not. They're going to make sure that their presence is at the right time.
Yep. Well, MasterCard released an NFT.
Okay.
Yeah, like 3 months ago, 4 months ago. It was just a sound NFT. It was sort of cool. It's in a Magic Link wallet, so it can't go anywhere.
Right.
Didn't have to KYC for it.
Yeah. Key management is the best.
Yeah. interesting aspect there. You know, MasterCard has expanded not just their venture arm, but their Web3 venture arm and Web3 incubators. I know there are huge partners here in New York with like HerDAO and BlueDAO.
Okay.
And so really looking at women in tech and supporting women in tech that are tech founders,
which we need much more of.
Yeah, and what's really, this is the thing, I meet a lot of women who are devs, but they just don't announce that they are.
Okay, I mean, I've met a couple, but yeah, you're right. It's kind of hard to like you out here, like we have events at Station 3. You guys should definitely come by every Wednesday, and then there's a special event on Thursday. If you're in the Web3 community, I'm showing Station 3 because it's a great Web3 hub.
And Wednesday night there's a cool event.
Yeah, too. We always have like a happy hour on Wednesday night. But yeah, you're right. It's like out here you can talk to somebody. They're like, I'm a developer. Like that's the first thing they say, But like sometimes you like meet them and like, what do you do? It's like, what are you working on? But I get it. Like, I mean, it's just this is a male-dominated ecosystem which needs to change, and I think that's another reason why this stigma is being pushed and the narrative's being forced into a direction that not all of us agree on, but the people that have the most bags and the most money are able to obviously push that direction.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's funny you mentioned FTX. I've spent the last 2 weeks at the trial.
Right.
In the courtroom and stuff like that. The prosecution rests its case on Thursday, so we have a break in court until Thursday, and the defense is expected to take up after lunch.
Okay.
Will they put Sam on first? Will they put some smaller people on first, and then Sam, and then experts to collaborate on everything Sam said? Not sure.
So he's definitely going to speak.
That is the
question. Yeah, most lawyers are going to be like, it's this is when it comes to something like that, it's like
that's the only chance he has.
Yeah, but if he goes on stand and they grill him and he is hiding something, then it's completely over. Which, I mean, to be honest with you, he robbed everybody, so he needs to.
Not like. And this is what's funny, like when the prosecution or the defense are doing anything, asking any questions Web3 related, they are just dead in the water.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, so have you seen like they've been asking what? Yeah, because they just don't know.
Well, and so like the prosecution had their financial expert to check to follow the flow of money for both consumer funds, fiat, and consumer funds, crypto. And this guy sort of opened up his pedigree. He's been doing penetration detection analytics of accounts for almost 40 years, last 12 years, Notre Dame. The big financial money flow cases he's been on has been like Enron, Paltron, and like Endcom. Okay. So they all ended in comms, which is funny. But the one crypto
they're conning you.
Yeah. The one crypto case where I'm assuming he was on the prosecutions on the SEC side was SEC versus Ripple.
Oh, okay.
And so that's his only other crypto case.
By the way, we went to the Ripple event after the trial.
I missed.
It was so sick.
I was.
They were giving out shirts and hats that said XRP is not a security.
Oh my god!
I even have thoughts. I was actually gonna wear them today.
Can I have a pair of those? I will wear them.
I'll give you the hat. Maybe that. Yeah, I'll bring the hat in tomorrow. I'll bring the hat in, and then you can grab it. Yeah.
I will wear that.
I will wear it. Yeah.
For those who don't know, I'm wearing my Alien Friends hat today. Shout out to Alien Friends.
But yeah, so you're saying that he was one of the guys that was like on. Because he
was on the prosecution side. I'm assuming he's been used by the SEC because he's. Gotcha. So the SEC, one of the things that they do is they use law firms, and once they use a law firm, that law firm can't be used by any like counterparty. And that's because it would be considered a conflict of interest.
Yeah, makes sense.
So the SEC doesn't even use its own analysts. It uses third-party attorneys and to fight its cases and stuff like that. But I don't know. I haven't looked to see how much he got ripped apart on that. But I do have to say, Santa Claus. That's what I would refer to him as, is because, that's what he looked like. It was fall for Santa, and slight white beard, and jolly face, very nice and calm tempered, slight Australian accent. So definitely Santa Claus. But he did a good job of laying out the customer fund flow.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he did a few things that made me happy and super sick. First off, when he was trying to explain fiat and crypto, he had pictures of different, dollars, yens, pounds, euros. He's like, this is fiat. And I was like, oh, yay. Yeah. And then he had, these are the cryptos. And these are the cryptos, just was sort of funny. But then he was like, these are the these are the tokens and coins that we tracked.
Okay.
And he named off Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT, and USDC. Now, he had the symbol for each of them.
That's why I'm excited. What's the
For Ethereum, what color is Ethereum?
I'd say green, right?
No. What is
gray? Gray?
Yeah. Ethereum is gray black. Green is what?
Solana?
Ethereum Classic.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So talking about ETH, right away, he started off with the Ethereum Classic logo. That was funny. Then when he was talking about how consumer funds was used to buy back the Binance shares, roughly $1.2 billion worth of consumer funds was used for that. He said it was broken down into BNB and BUSD. He said BNB was the Binance token,
right.
And then he said BUSD was a Bitcoin stable dollar.
Oh shit! It's the Binance stable.
I was like,
so he was already like, and he was saying this like to the jury, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Yep. And
they're probably confused as fuck to begin with.
Oh, they are. It's bad, but
and that unfortunately, that's where like these cases can have so much misdirection. It's like the OJ case where they make fun of it in South Park, where it's like, look at my hand, and then like everyone looks at the hand. It's like,
yeah, it's bad. But then he like, there were some things that he said. He was like, why did he trust blockchain records? And it was like, because blockchain is forever. And I was like, yeah, I love this guy. And then, some of the things that he'd said was like, when he was being asked about why, the accounting tracking and stuff like that, and like how was it done on blockchain and stuff like that. And he literally said, let me find this, I have it, much finer data we can get off the blockchain. And I was like, oh, that made me so happy. And then when he was asked, where did he get the information for the transactions on chain? He didn't say a Block Explorer. He was like, from the bank transactions. I was like, no, that's not where you got it from. You'd already said once where you'd gotten it from, and from a Block Explorer. I was just like, oh my gosh. But yeah, no, consumer funds, $1.7 billion, almost part of $3.5 billion of consumer funds paid back to Genesis and other pieces. Where they got really lost was on like collateralized loans and stuff like that, because there was a point when FTX in April, if they had went square, they were in the positives. All their debt was paid off. All of Alameda's borrowing was paid back. Consumer funds were equal and shit. And FTX and Alameda could have just done good, and no one would have ever been the wiser. Maybe it would have come up eventually or something like that, but they could have done good. Instead, they went and borrowed and used $7 billion worth of customers' funds in the next week and a half. I was like, oh my gosh, guys, you just can't stop yourself. But it was, yeah, there was some really crazy stuff. And like when they went into like Web 2 financials, that's when the defense was able to tear them apart and stuff like that, and that certain things weren't accounted for. And then the general counsel for FTX, was on the stand, Cam's son, and he got twisted on some stuff. And one of his quotes when they were asking him about the truth,
Can't handle the truth.
Oh yeah. Who makes the determination about truth?
Oh God, what is reality?
Yeah. I guess it's a Bill Clinton. What does was mean? Something like that.
So was Santa Claus? Was he was on the
Prosecution.
Okay,
Yeah. So because the prosecution is the one that's calling their witnesses and making their case, and then the defense will take over and they'll call their witnesses. So it's been interesting. There's been a lot of false information coming out of the court, that I've seen. And some people have been repeating it back to me as fact. And I'm like, no, I was sitting right there. Caroline Ellison did not say that at all. I have my notes,
right?
And like it's been crazy.
And that's probably the misdirection that they're gonna like try to push so that like it was an accident.
Well, no, like false, like even on Twitter and stuff like that was like, Caroline Ellison said that Solana has an on-off button. And they could turn it off and on whenever they wanted to. She never talked about that. She never even really said that. She never said that, and like never even really talked about. The worst thing that she talked about was the BMTX margin issue and mobile coin margin issue. So there wasn't liquidity, so people were able to push the price of mobile coin and BMTX really high, and so while it's $5 off chain, they were able to push it to like $50 on FTX because of liquidity issues.
Okay.
And then they borrowed against it.
Oh God.
Yeah. So they used FTX's system, and someone tried to say like, oh, it was a mobile coin hack. And I'm like, no, that was FTX getting fucked. So it's just like not people understanding all of that stuff or thinking that they do. It's a really crazy piece on that. But I have hope. There are a ton of amazing reporters there with me. We have like the Block, from Blockworks. We have Decrypt. We have The Verge, Wired Magazine,
Okay, cool.
New York Times, Washington Post, even NPR.
Okay.
And MSNBC, and I've made some really cool connections. I don't know if it's actually going to happen but the New York Times had actually gotten a approval, the reporter to write a piece on me.
Oh, nice.
And so like they had a photographer. I thought they were just gonna like take like phone pictures.
Yeah.
No, like they like were doing like profile pictures.
Well, so you guys better be watching this. This is your chance to see him before he's on the big screen.
So this is the worst thing though. It was Tuesday, and it was on the same day that Sweatcoin launched their wallet. And I know the Sweatcoin team, and they'd given me a shirt and they'd asked me to wear it on the day of their wallet launch. And I was like, yeah, sure. And this was like a month and a half, 2 months ago. So I didn't know where it would be. I had like a seizure-inducing pink shirt on. Like if you want to wear a color that says "Look at me," right, with this seizure-inducing pink, and I love the Sweat team. I love Sweat Economy and what they're building out. I'm still torn about them choosing Near as their blockchain, but hey, they're looking at a really cool integration of Web 2 and Web 3, so I gotta give it to them. Right. But yeah, that was a bad promise.
So the reporters got photos of you wearing.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Well, hey, if anything, if that pushes them up, they should give you some sweat equity.
I would love that. That would be amazing. Yeah, let's do that. So we have ETH Sign coming up tonight, going on right now, and that's talking about some of the new MetaMask features of ETH signature for pre-approval signatures and stuff like that within like Web3 games and other platforms, to where you can just make trades and do functions that are pre-approved, and you don't have to keep waiting for transaction approvals, and then there's some other cool stuff that they're going to be talking about. Thoughts on all of that?
Yeah. I mean, the pre-approval stuff, obviously, there's a different kind of couple of different aspects of that. I'm not completely sure. I just heard that they're going to be, the DocuSign of Web3, which in some situations we kind of need to, if we want to be innovators and we want to do something new, we need to kind of like say, oh, we're just going to turn a Web2 company into Web3. We need to be a little bit more innovative for some things. But the pre-approval thing, like, I guess it could be good for security, right? Like, I can't remember exactly what MetaMask extension it was, but basically what it would do is it would take whatever you were about to send or sign and mimic it. And so that you would see like what would happen. So like for scams and stuff like that.
Wallet guard.
Yeah. I mean, there were a couple of them.
Join fire.
Yeah, the fire one. I like the fire logo.
Yeah.
I thought that was like really cool.
That guy right there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, join fire and wallet guard.
There you go. So I'm not sure about this pre-approval thing. Like if they're just like putting the pre-approvals like as ZKs and then rolling them out or settling them later on chain, because obviously like ZKs are the way that like, you know, there's Web 2 things that are Web 2 and they just stay Web 2. And there's Web 3 things that are Web 3. There's not a reason to have to merge them. They're going to coexist just because the functionality is just how it needs to be. And so obviously ZKs are the new mechanism to do off-chain cryptography, right? So if they're utilizing something like that, then that's kind of cool, because if you're playing games and you have, you know, you're trying to keep the whole game on chain, you know, you're making all these different moves and stuff like that. All the computations be off chain, kind of like pre-approved in a sense, and then you win the game, then it settles on chain.
Mm-hmm. Some cool stuff there. Oh man. So far with the New York Tech Week, what other events have you done so far?
To be honest with you, we had to prepare for the blockchain boot camp, so I tried to be good. I went to the iHeartRadio event, which was pretty dope. It had Michael Rappaport and Bishop Briggs perform.
Nice.
She's like a millennial Billie Eilish. It was pretty cool. I mean, I don't know who she is, but that's the take I got. But iHeartRadio actually has a venture arm, and I spoke with two big people from iHeartRadio the next day about some really cool tech. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I wish I would have gone to more events, but I just, you know, couldn't make it.
Yeah. No, I big events so far was like Popple and Republic. That was a good networking. I missed the Old Crows event. Crows are like DOD and ex-DOD, electromagnetic warfare, kinetic energy weapons, and venture capitalists that like look to like doom prep. Like, so
Shit.
some
That's
of the
scary.
But when I say doom prep, like in technology, it's like, how do you make tech data protected and like last? Blockchain provides that. You know, everything else can get wiped, but on a decentralized network, it's going to be stored somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, like I have a Bitcoin node running. I'm trying to run a Solana node, but I don't have 512 gigabytes of memory.
Why not?
It's only $6,000.
What? No, it's not. We'll get you.
Okay, all right. But yeah, you're right. I mean, obviously these nodes are going to be running on Raspberry Pis forever. So yeah.
I love Cricket nodes. Cricket miners.
Oh, is that what that for?
That's one of the terms, you know, for cricket miners, like Bitcoin miners that like I've seen even smaller than Raspberry Pis that are like running on 9 volts. You know?
Yeah, because I mean they only need 8 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah, and so they can just go and like, you know, it cost me $50 to make and I might get lucky.
Yeah.
You know, it's a $50 gamble, but you know, you times that by whatever and you might get a chance, you know. I don't know. There's just a lot of cool shit being built out. Last night we also had the Web3 XP3 gaming here at Station 3. Then huge shout out to the entire L-Bank and Solana family. Great event over on the other side of town. And then we have ETHSign and we have Gatsby tonight. Tomorrow we have Somewhere Nowhere tonight as well, and which Somewhere Nowhere has moved a little bit away from Web3, but they still have their land deeds out there, which gets you into any Somewhere Nowhere event.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar.
They launched them last year with NFT NYC, and I think they sort of forgot about them. But then I just randomly show up and like, I got a land deed, and they're like, but it's a $5,000 ticket. And I was like, I got a land deed. And they're like, fuck.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, I think there's some cool stuff there. And then tomorrow we got some fun stuff looking out. Sunday. Tomorrow's Sunday already. So I have an event that I'm sort of helping out with. Selfless shill here, but it is. And look, did we get rated by monkeys again? We got rated by builders. I love builders. Huge shout out to the builders. You guys come and raid sometimes, so I love you guys. But it's Manhattan's first legally licensed dispensary.
Oh yeah, that's right. I heard that it's like I used to live in Colorado, so I'm all about that. I voted for uh, Obama and weed in a church that said Jesus is the answer. Yeah, no, you're right because all this stuff is unregulated, which is it's cool and everything, but you walk into like one of these like bodegas or dispensaries, like you're getting stuff from like Colorado or Cali, but like you don't know.
Or you think so?
Yeah, exactly.
Like some of it's just from upstate or somewhere else, but none of the dispensaries in New York, and there's 1,000 of them. None of them are actually licensed. They're just under so Hell's Kitchen Cannabis Collective. Okay. It's like the New York's first farmers market. So they have like 5, 6, 7 different farmer brands and stuff like that. They even have pot water. New York gummies and everything like that. New
York's gonna go crazy. They're just gonna hire the best from like Cali and Colorado, just bring them, put them upstate, and then we're gonna have. It's gonna be nuts.
It is. But we got their first weird event tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah, the
HKCC.
Yeah.
So huge shout out to everyone that's signing up for that. Thank you. But other than that, man, it's a quiet week. Just a lot of work between Monday and Wednesday to prep for court. Yeah, I don't know. Anything else you want to say?
I'm gonna be like interested to see how the case pans out. So like definitely keep me updated on that.
Yep.
I'll bring you the hat, that's for sure. I can't think of anything right now. Trying to just enjoy this Saturday because I think I'm gonna try to do some work tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so that's all I can really think of. Yeah, like being so busy and working, I haven't really got to put my ear down and see what's going, see what's new. And so, yeah, all I can think of is the last thing was at Stars Arena.
Oh man, yeah.
So, and that was something that like they didn't audit the contract, and once again, it's where this greed comes in, and you get so overwhelmed that you lose focus of the fundamentals, right? So if you're going to do anything that's going to have, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars involved, then literally audit a contract for $5,000. Like,
yeah,
it's not, it's not, at this point, and that's where until we get that that stigma removed and those fundamentals driven again, like hard coded back into us, where it's going to be a while till we're back on track, and that's why we're trying to teach blockchain boot camps. So if you're ever at Station 3 and you want to sign up, come through. Doesn't matter if you're a pro in crypto or you're a beginner. Like we do it all.
Yeah, no, it's some fun stuff. And as we wrap this up, as we've talked about auditing and weird things that are being done on chain, Burn It DAO. It launched finally. And so this is going to be 16,384 NFTs with a $1 million prize. So the only way you win is by burning. Burn it down.
So you mint the NFT and then you burn it?
You burn others. You burn other people's.
Okay, how do you burn
each round? You click on the burn button. So when the round starts, and it saves you, and it burns someone else down. So each round cuts in half the amount of participants. And so, yeah, 1,024 ETH as the prize.
Okay. Are they using Chainlink for the
they're using
the random?
They're using 721 PSI. Yeah. So there's some cool stuff going on there. So, and then it's built completely on chain and launched immutable. So it's going to be continuous. So even after round one, after the first game happens, it can play again.
Okay, yeah. I mean, as long as it's completely random, that should be fun.
Yeah, that is the fun part of it. So uses whole on-chain dynamics. Love reading through the GitHub on it, and so huge shout out to Burn It Dow. I know who you are.
Burn it down, Dow.
Dow.
Burn it down.
Burn it down.
No.
All right.
Down.
No. All right. So, as always, we end every episode with words of wisdom and then the worst, best knock knock joke on the face of the planet. So, words of wisdom.
Stay strong out there. You know, do your research. If it sounds too good to be true, it's too good to be true. And if you're a builder, keep building. If you're a designer, keep designing. If you're an educator, keep educating. And yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, some good shit. We end every episode with our same words of wisdom, which is a closed mouth cannot be fed, and you cannot feed a closed mouth. Meaning, if no one knows you're looking for opportunity can never come a knocking. And if it does come a knocking and no one answers, it's going to keep on walking. And with that, since you're here, you get to help us end with the greatest, worst knock knock joke on the face of the planet. Are you ready for this awesome, amazing knock knock joke?
Oh, I can't wait.
All right. Knock knock.
Who's there?